Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Haxenhunt. Today's video, we are shooting the new Matthews lifts. We've got the lift 29.5 and the lift 33. So I am super pumped to put these two head to head against each other, see which one shoots, feels better. Both of them are set up at 30-inch draw, 70-pound limbs. This could be the bow of 2024. So there's a lot of good talk on both of these bows. I'm super pumped to see how they shoot and perform against each other. Is it worth going the longer axle, or is the smaller platform gonna be just fine? We're gonna find that out. We're gonna see the speeds they're shooting. We're gonna shoot through the chronograph with multiple different weighted arrows, and we are gonna shoot them here in the range and see the comfortability, see how they shoot. First impressions right off the bat is the weight. These things are light, very, very light for an aluminum bow. Very pumped to see how they perform being this light. Are they gonna float around? Are they gonna be good? I don't know, let's find out. Go ahead and stay tuned. Real quick, guys, I just wanna let you know, I do have a giveaway going on at Haxenhunt.com. Go buy a hat to win a bow. I'm giving away my personal Matthews V3 to one of you guys. Max entries are 250 entries. So all you gotta do is purchase a hat and you are automatically entered. Again, there are only 250 hats to be able to be entered. So each hat is an entry if you wanna get multiple hats. But anyway, if you wanna get entered in to win my personal Matthews V3, go to Haxenhunt.com and buy a hat. First up is going to be that 29.5-inch lift. The balance of this bow, as you can tell, is pretty solid. It's so light. It just literally sticks in your hand. I don't feel like there is no want to tip either way, forward or backward. I feel like there is a pretty solid base. Most bows nowadays have a pretty solid base as far as the balance goes. So that's not really an issue anymore like it used to be. Again, this is the 29.5. This is set up at 30 inches, 70 pounds. I've yet to shoot this bow at all. So this is basically my first impressions for you guys as well on the 29.5. So let's draw this thing back. Okay, very solid back wall. Draw cycle is pretty consistent on the pressure that you have drawing back, if that makes sense. Like there's no easy to get harder, back to easy, and then dump into the back wall. Like it's just a consistent pull all the way until the end. And then at the end, I feel like I usually run into that with a Matthews. It dumps a little bit. String angle is not the best at 30 inches with the 29.5. But it's, it is a short bow, so we got to expect. Pretty sure my release is louder than this bow. Listen to this bow and listen for the release as well. Listen to this. I feel like I heard my release over the shot of that bow, 100%. Ready? %, I can hear my release. This click right here, way louder than the bow itself. I'm pretty impressed with that. That is very quiet, very dead in the hand. I mean, it is Matthews, they're always dead in the hand, so I'm not surprised on that. The one I am surprised on is that how quiet it really is though. 29.5 is a shooter bow. Not gonna lie. I do actually really like this. I like how light it is. It's not, let me pay attention to the float real quick. It's not floating around. Like you would think it would with a 3.9 pound bow. Gosh, that is very light. I wonder how, I want to shoot this bow at a long distance. I really do. To see the consistency at a long range distance. But as far as shootability goes, I don't love the grip. I don't hate it as much as I used to, but I don't absolutely love it. Very quiet. This is by far the quietest bow Matthews has made. I mean, it is skeletonized 100%. I mean, look at every pocket that they drilled out of this thing to make as light as possible. I mean, the limb bolts are as short as can be. The limbs are as thin as can be. There's little to no freaking structure inside of this riser. Like, it is as small as I think they could possibly get it, and still hold the rigidityness of it. Super impressed with that. Let's shoot the 33 and see. Like, grabbing this 33 makes a bow feel heavy now because of how light this 29.5 is. Even though this is super, super light. What is it, 4.4 or something like that pounds? Very light bow, killer bow. I am pumped to see how it shoots up against that 29.5. I think the biggest difference is gonna be that string angle, and I am a big fan of a comfortable string angle that I'm not tucking on. Keeps me in a natural anchored position. So anyway, let's put this one down. Let's shoot the 33 and see our first initial thoughts of the Mathews Lift 33. All right, first impressions with the balance. Same balance of the 29.5. Very well balanced. It stays upright exactly where it needs to. This is the Lift 33, same setup, 70 pounds, 30-inch draw. Well, if you guys might notice, I am shooting a new release. This is Scott Archery Apex Core thumb button release. It's been pretty good. I'll link it in the description so that way you guys can go check it out. I've actually enjoyed shooting it and enjoying the thumb button. All right, first things first, draw cycle is definitely smoother on this, and I just feel like I naturally go into a better position with anchoring with the string angle, like I was mentioning. Again, I can hear my release before I hear my release over the bow. A lot of times that is not the case. Let's shoot it again. Smooth, solid, very solid back wall. It's dead in the hand. I feel like it might be obviously it's a longer axle, so it's gonna be a more stable platform with a longer riser, better string angle and everything. And I just feel like if I punch the trigger, I punch that one hard, I feel like I can settle really, really quick and make a shot happen very fast in a comfortable position. So obviously in a hunting situation, sometimes that does happen. Sometimes you do have to punch the trigger. Sometimes you don't have any time. It's a quick draw and shoot. Like this, anchor, like that's fairly quick. I wanna grab the 29.5 and do that same test and just see, because I feel like when you have that steeper string angle, you're searching. I mean, it's similar, it feels more stable on that 33, which that's what a longer axle bow is for, so I get it. I mean, they're the same bow, but not the same bow. Definitely smoother on the draw cycle as far as both of these go. Very consistent, very stupid quiet. Like literally, I don't know what it's gonna sound like on video with the mic right here. You guys might just hear my release go off. I don't know if you're gonna hear the bow very well. It might echo in here, but it is super duper quiet. I am curious to see the speeds both of these are getting. So we're gonna shoot them with hunting arrow setups through a chronograph. We have 400 grain as the lightest arrow up to a 520 grain for the heaviest arrow. So pretty solid, average weighted hunting arrows for most people. So we're gonna see the speeds that it is getting compared to each other. So see if the comfortability as far as the stabilizing platform of the 33, see if that's worth it more than this one's probably gonna produce a little bit more speed being shorter axle. So we're gonna find that out, shoot them through the chronograph and decide which one would be a better fit to go ahead and take home. All right, chronograph time. We are gonna shoot the 29.5-inch lift first. We've got a 400 grain arrow up to bat. Let's clip this on and let's see what speed we're getting with a 400 grain arrow out of the lift, 30-inch draw, or 70-pound limbs. Pretty good speed, 307. That's a good speed there for this little bow. 307. Here's a 420 grain arrow. 303. I'm impressed so far. 440 grain arrow. $298. So like typically a 440 grain arrow, that is a pretty basic arrow setup for a lot of bow hunters. So getting 298 feet a second with that only at 70 pounds, 30-inch draw, like if you hit the 75-pound mods or the 80-pound mods, like that's going to be pushing 310 maybe, which that's really impressive actually. So let's shoot this one. This is 480. So we're going from 440 to 480 now. Having that little bit of a heavier arrow actually made quite a bit of a difference as far as the sound goes. That one got 281. This is now a 500 grain arrow. The more I shoot it, the better I like just get used to that draw. That one hit hard. 276. Again, that was the 500 grain. Here's my heaviest arrow at 520. This Easton Axis 5mm arrow I shot elk hunting a couple years ago. Wanted that, I believe I have the 50 grain brass inserts in it. 520 grain, a little bit on the heavier end for me. Personally, I don't love a super heavy arrow. This arrow, I shot an elk frontal, full pass through, like plenty of penetration, and it's, yeah, so it's as heavy as heaviest I've ever gone, and it is getting a speed of 272 feet a second out of that lift 29.5. So honestly, pretty good speeds, 272 up to, what was it, 307. I'll be honest, I'm pretty impressed with those numbers. Being the shorter axle bow is gonna be getting better speed than the 33. So let's shoot the 33 and see how much lower it really is, and see if this additional speed is gonna be worth going with the shorter axle versus the stability of a platform. Okay, time for that 33 lift. See what speeds we are getting out of this bow. First up, we're gonna shoot that 400 grain arrow, start with the lightest one. That 29.5 did shoot 307, so pretty solid speed. Let's see what the 33 is shooting. Same setup, 30 inches, 70-pound limbs. 295. Okay, so a little bit slower. We are what, 12 feet a second slower? Not terrible. Not terrible. No, that's good speed. Out of 33, pretty good speed. Again, 70 pounds, 30 inches. This 420 grain arrow is up next. I think we got what? Still 301 or something out of the 29.5. This one we just got 291. So pretty consistent as far as keeping up a decent speed. Next up is my 440 grain arrow. Again, this is the Easton Axis 5mm. Pretty common hunting setup. 285. Again, pretty common setup for hunting is 440 grain. Next up is 480 grain. That's another fairly common for this setup arrow weight. Make sure that tip is in, and then shoot this one, 480. $271, drops a little bit there, adding that 40 grain worth of arrow. Here is my current hunting setup, Easton Axis long range, so it's a 4mm. This is weighing in at 500 grain. Let's shoot this. That one we are at 266, so like it's dropping. I don't like my hunting sets to be anything less than like 275. That's kind of where I try to hold. So like if I was to get this bow, I would 100% get it in 80 pounds. I would draw 80 pounds and then I would do 29-inch draw. Maybe, yeah, 29-inch, I would say, on the lift. So this is 30, so I am overdrawn a little bit. Oops. So if you do notice that, that would be why. Right there at 262. So with 520 grain arrow at 262, it's not terrible, especially for a 33-inch axle bow. Fairly performing pretty well. I am curious to see which one of these is going to be settling a little bit more. So between the 29.5 and the 33, we're going to shoot a 3-arrow group and see which one holds tighter, is more consistent, and settles a little bit better. So let's go back over here, shoot a couple arrow group out of both of them and kind of decide which one I'd rather go home with. First up to bat is going to be the 29.5-inch lift. Let's see how it settles in on target real quick. I don't know, settles okay. I feel like I was floating around a decent amount. Let's do that again. Definitely floating. Not like a ton. And again, I don't have a stabilizer on it. That would help minimize that quite a bit. Trying to see if these, yeah, you wouldn't want to go any more high profile vein than these AAE Max Stealths. You'd be smacking that cable guard. But anyway, 29.5, it's got, I feel like I just shot a fletching off. Maybe not. I feel like it is floating more than I like, because I don't feel that float with the 33, I'm pretty sure. We're gonna try that and kind of see. One thing I kind of notice again is just the draw cycle is not nearly as smooth as the 33. Shooting the 33 just shows, I don't know, it is a lot more comfortable as far as the shooting goes. You are getting quite a bit better speeds out of, yeah, like night and day difference on that draw cycle. Let's shoot here. And this one, my pin is not leaving the target where I'm aiming at all. So shooting that, I feel like I'm gonna be pretty consistent if I'm like, if you don't have target panic, if you're not punching that trigger and you're just letting it float within that target, I feel like it's gonna be perfect. But I feel like this is way smoother of a draw. Again, settled and let it just, I think out of hunting, the most important part is going to be the consistency in both accuracy and just anchoring. I feel like with the 29.5, I'm kind of fighting where I'm anchoring. And again, I'm not used to shooting a 29.5-inch axle bow, so maybe that could be why. I am shooting an RX-7 Ultra right now, so I am used to a little bit of a wider string angle. At 29 and 30-inch draw lengths, it is a lot more comfortable with that 33. That being said, if I was to pick one of these bows, I'd probably take home that 33 just because again, I would get those 80-pound mods. You're gonna make up some of that speed with that, but the draw cycle is a lot smoother, and I just feel like it's a more stable platform having that much longer riser. I mean, you can tell, way longer of a riser, and it feels very, very stable, feels very consistent, feels more natural, if that makes sense. The 29.5 I feel like would be very beneficial with shorter draw lengths, and especially if you're in a blind or a tree stand or something you're not going to be shooting long shots. I hunt the high country open stuff here in Utah a lot, so a little bit more of a stable platform for those longer distance shots is kind of what I look for in a bow and a hunting setup. So that's my thoughts on these two bow guys. Really appreciate your support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to help contribute to the channel, help support even further, go to haxenhunt.com, purchase merch. It definitely helps me a lot. So I just want to say thanks for your guys' support and see you guys next time.